Hi, welcome back to Central Kentucky TV, Community Focus. Kenny Fogel here with you. I got Brad Spalding here, and Brad, I don't know your exact title. I mean, I'll let you tell that. And I know one of the things you've been working with, obviously at the landfill and bulky item pickup. But I'll let you tell us a little bit about. First of all, who's Brad Spalding?
Well, I'm the solid waste director for Nelson County. Part of my time is spent as a solid waste director, and a portion of the time is actually spent as the landfill manager. Mm-hmm. So split duties between the two. They coincide with each other, and so the county of Nelson decided that one person can handle both duties.
Now, what's your background? I know you're a graduate of University of what now?
Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt. Okay.
Vanderbilt
You
University.
went to one of them academic universities.
Something like that. No, I got lucky and got accepted into there. I got a 4-year degree in engineering, civil engineering. And when I graduated from Vanderbilt, I went to Lexington and worked for an environmental firm, actually, for a few years. And an opportunity came up to work for Nelson County. And it's been great for me personally. And got to move
you're
back.
From this area?
Yes, I'm originally from Washington County, so it was great to get back to generally this area. And it's really worked out to be close to my family and be somewhat in the field of that I went to school for.
Okay, well, I know you're a busy man tonight and you've got places you need to be, but what we're going to talk about tonight is bulky item pickup primarily. Now tell us what is that. That's been going on for a few years now.
That's been going on. They started in 1997. It's the records I have back then started. And the former judge in fiscal court, they decided that through our solid waste program and a way to reduce open dumps and to reduce the litter that gets accumulated out in the county, that they would have what's called a bulky item pickup. Now that is subsidized through our solid waste program. Right now, any Nelson County resident that is a customer of ours pays $14.50 a month. We take a portion of that money and it pays for this program. Every spring we come around to certain areas in the county and we do what we call phases. We got phase 1, 2, and 3. And I'll explain those phases here momentarily. And we stay in a phase for 2 weeks and we pick up bulky items. And bulky items are large items like stoves, refrigerator, couches, tires, lumber from something maybe you've been working on, something that you typically would not place out for a garbage guy to get. Something too big for those guys to get. This year it begins February 23rd. I've got a map that I'll leave with you guys that you can share with your audience. But February 23rd section would be more towards the Woodline, towards Frederickstown, on up into Chaplin and whatnot. And we start that again. We ask everybody, if your area begins on the 23rd. Stick it out. Don't try to time it accordingly and, well, it's going to take them a week to get to me and whatnot. We want you going to get it out because we only want to come through one time. And when we come through that time, the road department comes through and they get your items. We ask that you do separate out your tires from that and your metal as well. Because any metal that we get, we of course will recycle it and not put that in the landfill. The tires, what we do with them, each resident is allowed to put out 8 passenger tires.
I was going to say, I thought there was a limit.
Yeah, the key to that is we have to get rid of those tires. And we contract someone to come in that Division of Waste Management recommends, and there's a vendor list, and we get bids from them. And typically they use those tires for beneficial use, but we got to pay to have those taken away from us. So we ask each resident to only place out 8. And they're passenger tires. They're either car tires or pickup tires. If you have more than that, you're more than welcome to place them out. However, we will be getting a fee from us and a bill and tractor tires.
John Deere grader tire.
Well, exactly right. That's what I was going to get to, Kenny. You got that. If you stick a big tire out, we're going to charge you for it because, and that's just a pass through. It is a straight pass through. Whatever we have to pay someone to come get it is what we pass through. Typical tractor tire is going to run $9 to $12 a piece. So varies on the size and whatnot.
It's still cheaper than hauling it off, though, probably.
Most definitely. And what we do ask people, and I'll go through the phases again. February 23rd is what we call the Woodline area towards Chaplin. The second phase would be what we would call the south end of the county.
South of the river.
Correct, and that begins March 9th. You can always tell it's 2-week sections that we do. And then the third phase is more the Louisville Road 245 area, and that begins March 23rd. And so what we ask people is if you can get it out when your phase begins, and everybody should have gotten a card in the mail that indicated when their phase begins within their Salt River billing. If you do not get it out, you can still call the landfill. You can still come out during this time period, during the entire bulky item 6 week. And you say, hey, I live at such and such address. We confirm that, and then we let you dump your items for free as long as they're bulky items. And now it's not applicable to contractors and industries. It's only our residents that we apply.
Now, outside of this period, is there a charge if somebody comes out there and wants to dump stuff, like say in the middle of December?
Correct. And that's in order to help pay for operation of the
right.
landfills. And a typical pickup truck load is going to be $7 to $14,
Okay.
and it varies from going up there. It's $8 a cubic yard, and there's fees associated with that. But that's generally what everybody looks at on a pickup load is $7 to $14.
Well, this is
very
the free,
economical.
this is the free space. I mean, this is what we want to get in now.
Well, and that's part of what they pay. You know,
Uh-huh.
that your monthly bill helps subsidize this. And this program was directly a result of the fiscal court's actions on wanting to reduce open dumping, help people clean up their...
And have we seen a lot of reduction in open dumping?
Oh, very
I know
much.
my dad had one on his farm, and probably not legal, but he had one.
Well, and you tend, as we all get older and smarter, that these programs are available to us, and more people use it. And it is, over the years, going down. Has it cleaned them all up? Well, I'm not. I'm smart enough to know that's not the case. But
if you're paying for the bill, you might as well use the service.
Oh, sure. And we have seen, you would think it would have been what I would call a bell curve. When we started, and we saw the levels go up as far as the tonnage and the amount that was getting
That
rid
was
of.
my next question, if it was starting to come down
And you know, a typical barrel curve will come down on
Right.
the end, and you would think it would level off. And what we saw is it came up to a certain level, and it's dropped some, but it's leveled off.
Really?
But it hasn't come down to the level you would think. And it just goes to show there's always, people have that old place in the back. They got this old stuff in their barn, and you would hope eventually it would drop off, but you know, we've seen it kind of plateau out over the past 3 or 4 years or so.
Well, I know obviously you have some competition out there, because a lot of people drive around before you get there and read the pile, because sometimes the pile's gone before you get there if you got anything valuable. And that includes metal that you may want to recycle or something of that nature. So
the only thing we ask of people on that, and that's the issue that happens there, is people are very good, the residents are, about separating out the items that they need to.
Yeah.
Sometimes what you see happen when people go through those piles and get the metal out, or an old chair that they see they want to try to refurbish this. Now the piles just become one big cluster mess there.
Right.
And it's tougher on the guys to get out. And, you know, we're out on Highway 150, on Highway 62, and the traffic's pretty bad sometimes. And so we're trying to be careful about that. And when the piles get commingled, it makes it a little tougher. But yeah, we do see a lot of people.
But this is just primarily out in the county, like in the city of Bardstown, Bloomfield, New Haven. Now they've got their own little system, right?
That's a good point, Kenny. Yes, any city operates their own bulk yard and pickup, and they all vary a little differently on how they do it. City of Bardstown does it on a will call basis. I believe New Haven and Bloomfield do it one time a year, similar to like we do. This is totally when I say the solid waste departments. If you're a customer of us, this is the program that's applicable to you.
Now I noticed I just happened to be looking over to your paint. I mean, something like paint and liquids like that. What do you do with it? Now, if I got 10 gallons of paint that I want to get rid of, how do I get rid of it?
The landfill can take non-lead based paint, which most paint anymore is latex.
Yeah.
But how we can take it, it's got to be dried up. And we use the old trick of kitty litter, sawdust, dirt, anything that technically we can tell the Division of Waste Management, yes, Kenny made an effort to dry it up and we can take it. A lot of people, or if it's hardened up, we can take it. Now, my garbage guys and these gentlemen who go around and do this bulky item pickup, they are so trained. When they see a paint can, they are going to leave it. And that's good.
That's what they should do.
But the residents are more than welcome to, especially during this phase, come out with it, you know, bring it to us. And as long as they make an effort to dry it out, we will. That's one of the questions when you come on the scales. You got any paint, batteries, tires, or oils? Yeah. You'll hear it every time you come out there. And some of the stuff we can take, some of it we can't. We just need to segregate it accordingly.
Landfill, before I know we get to the... Obviously, one of the questions people always have is what the lifespan of the landfill is. Obviously, everything's finite to some point, and you're getting garbage. At some point, is it ever full?
Most definitely. And where we're at now is, in the landfill design, it was an original 32-acre footprint, is what they call it. That was originally designed to last 20 to 30 years. It's so dependent on how much you're taking in and growth and whatnot. We're at the point now where we probably have 10 to 14 years left. It's so reliant upon the economy. That, in the scheme of things, is not a lot of time. And we are in the process of going through the design and administrative and technical applications through the Division of Waste Management to expand our landfill.
Yeah.
The expansion all is contained within the area where we're at now, and it's all adjacent to the area. We're just kind of adding on to the sides and adding on to the top.
Can you expand up?
Correct. That would be called a vertical expansion.
Yeah.
And part of what we're doing, the original footprint again was 32 acres. This new expansion that we're working on, I mean, right now we just had a public hearing on some issues on that, is 40.8 acres. So we're more, doubling the size of our existing landfill. Anticipated lifespan of that is 40 to 50 years, additional space than what we have now. So some forethought, that is a long process through the Division of Waste Management. We're probably talking 4 to 5 years between public hearings. There'll be several submittals back and forth. We'll submit a design, they'll critique it and send it back and ask for different things. And that's okay, and that's part of the process. That's part of what we get paid to do. A lot of it in-house. Jim Lameau, who's the county engineer, and myself are doing the design, a lot of the work. And some of the stuff is very specific, like geotechnical work, where you do seismic issues for earthquakes, you do slope stability analysis. Sometimes as an engineer, you got to know when you're out of your field of expertise, and I'm out of my field of expertise there. Some of it I can do, some of it I can't. So we bring some people in to help with that, and that's kind of where we're at with that now.
Okay, well, so what else do we need to know about what's going on at the landfill or bulky item pickup, anything, or we just need to make sure people are prepared to get things out when they're supposed to get them out, and what they should have out, what they shouldn't have out. So we know that pretty well. So
yeah, and that's it. The typical landfill is, it's a good for our county. I mean, it really is. It's an ability for us to control how much waste costs to get rid of. I mean, it's a big business, and Nelson County has decided to stay in the solid waste business in order to control those costs and control our destiny a little more. We take Marion County as well, and I get those questions a lot. Why we take other counties? We take Marion County in order to be able to afford expansions, to afford our closure plans and whatnot. But we don't take any other counties, to be honest with you. And that's an effort to expand the life of our landfill. And so that's kind of where we're at with. Well,
we're glad you're out there and paying attention to it, because somebody needs to be paying attention to this, because obviously most of us just take it for granted that it's there and it will be there forever. So there's somebody paying attention to what's going in and how it's being managed. We certainly appreciate you doing that and using your expertise on that, because as you say, you may be out of your field, but we're definitely out of our field.
Well, and a lot of it is the foresight of the fiscal court and, the effort and commitment that they have to make sure we get what we need. And it is it could be a big potential issue for us, but we kind of stay on top of it.
Right. So bulky item pickup begin on February 23rd, and Phase 1, Phase 2, March the 9th, and 3rd, March the 23rd. So watch for your postcard. And if you have any questions, like if they don't get a postcard, they have any questions, do they call somebody to find out a question?
The two best ways to find out information on that would be call the landfill, which is 502-348-1876, or our webpage. Actually, the county has a website, which is www.nelsoncountyky.com. And click on the solid waste tab, and you'll see a bulky item map, and you click on that and it'll have the description of the locations and the dates, just what you're seeing here, as well as the guidelines that we ask how people to put their stuff out. So if people would like something in front of them, that would be by far the easiest way to get it in front of them.
Well, Brad, we appreciate what you're doing. Keep it up,
Kenny.
and thank you for being here today.
Yes,
Brad
sir.
Spalding, the landfill here in Bardstown, and we appreciate him being here. We appreciate you paying attention to this. It keeps our county clean and keeps those landfills humming for one thing, but it also keeps those dumps out of your backyard and your farm or wherever they're not supposed to be, because obviously we've got an earth and we got to protect it, and we're going to do our best. So what they're doing is going to help a lot. So we'll be back in just a moment or so on Community Focus with more from Central Kentucky. We'll be right back.